Canned corn is a popular and convenient way to enjoy the sweet and flavorful taste of corn throughout the year. It was popularized by cook stove manufacturer Nathan Winslow, who invented a safe canning method in the 1830s, allowing the corn kernels to maintain their freshness. Now, sweet corn is found everywhere from salad and tacos to even on pizzas. It is one of the most popular vegetables in the United States when it comes to per capita consumption. But how is it made? Canned corn production begins with the careful selection of corn varieties suited for canning. Varieties with tender and sweet kernels are preferred for their taste and texture. Farmers prepare the soil by plowing and adding necessary nutrients. Corn seeds are then sown in rows with adequate spacing to facilitate healthy growth. In the United States, sweet corn seeding usually takes place in March and April each year. Currently, the United States is home to the largest sweet corn crop in the world, with an estimated 268,000 acres and an annual harvest of 2.9 billion pounds. As the corn plants grow, they require consistent irrigation to ensure optimal development. On average, each high-yielding corn crop uses about 600,000 gallons of water per acre. Farmers monitor the crop for pests and diseases, applying appropriate measures to protect the corn. The timing of harvesting is crucial for canned corn production. Sweet corn is typically harvested when the kernels are in the milk stage, plump and filled with sweet liquid. This is the period between mid-August to mid-October. At harvest, silks on the ear should be brown and dry. When a thumbnail is pressed into a kernel, a milky liquid should emerge, indicating the crop is ready for harvest. It is very important to harvest quickly at the proper stage because the sugars in sweet corn can rapidly convert to starch, making the corn undesirable. Mechanical harvesters are employed to gather the ears. The front part of the harvester features a specialized attachment known as a corn head. This attachment is equipped with rows of snapping rollers or snapping plates that are designed to grasp the corn stalks and gently pull the ears from the plants. As the harvester moves through the cornfield, the snapping rollers or plates engage with the corn stalks at the base of the ears. The rollers rotate, snapping the ears off the plants. The ears are then conveyed to gathering chains that guide them from the harvester towards a grain or corn transport vehicle running parallel to the harvester. The driver of the truck coordinates with the harvester operator to maintain a consistent speed and alignment. The unloading mechanism on the harvester features an adjustable spout or chute. This spout can be directed toward the truck, allowing the harvested corn to be precisely unloaded into the truck's cargo area. After harvesting, the corn ears are promptly transported to the processing facility. Efficient transportation methods are employed to minimize delays and maintain the freshness of the produce. You see, canning the corn is done in just 4 hours after harvesting to maintain as much of the nutritional value of the product as possible. For this reason, the corn canning factories are usually located close to the corn farms. This is the canning facility where the corn ears undergo cleaning and husking. Almost 150,000 tons of corn are canned here annually. The cobs are transported into the canning plant using a conveyor which leads to visual inspection stations. These are set up to identify any defects or abnormalities in the canned corn. This includes checking for irregularities in color, consistency, and general quality standards. After inspection is complete, the cobs are transported to a dehusking machine through a conveyor belt system. Rotating rollers or blades make contact with the ears, gently removing the outer layers of husk. Brushes or air jets may be integrated to eliminate any remaining husk particles. The dehusked corn ears exit the machine, ready for the next step. The cobs are lined up ready to be handled by the kernel remover. The machine consists of spinning knives that strip the kernels from over 7,000 cobs an hour. Twice a day, the machines are stopped to clean and sharpen them. The corn kernels fall in the middle while the cobs themselves move to the sides. Kernels and cobs, now separated, move along their separate way in the process. The kernels then enter a rotating drum that removes any particles larger than the kernels. Nothing is wasted in the process. Corn residues, leaves, and cobs are all sold as animal feed. Blanching follows the kernel removal and involves briefly immersing the corn kernels in hot water or steam. This step is crucial for deactivating enzymes that can lead to flavor and color changes, preserving the quality of the corn. The canning process begins with the preparation of a brine or syrup solution. This solution helps preserve the corn's flavor, texture, and color. Sugar, salt, and water are typically used in varying proportions to create the brine. The prepared corn kernels are then packed into cans. The cans are filled with the corn, leaving a specified headspace to accommodate thermal expansion during the canning process. This rotating filling machine can handle 300 to 450 cans per minute. The kernels which fall to the side are gathered up later and returned to the filling line. The brine or syrup solution is poured into the cans, covering the corn kernels completely. The liquid serves both as a preservative and as a medium to maintain the corn's quality. To remove any air trapped in the cans, a de-aeration step is often included. This helps create a vacuum seal, preventing spoilage and maintaining the integrity of the canned corn. Once filled, the cans are sealed using a specialized seaming machine. The double seaming process ensures an airtight seal, preventing contamination and maintaining the freshness of the corn. Some canning processes involve an exhausting step where cans are briefly heated to remove any remaining air. This step contributes to the preservation of the corn and prevents oxidation. The sealed cans are then subjected to a cooking process. This can involve pressure cooking or hot water bath methods depending on the specific requirements of the canned corn product. The heat destroys any remaining microorganisms and ensures a sterile environment within the can. This step is crucial because it also contributes to the shelf life of the can and ensures that the product will remain germ-free for 18 months. After cooking, the cans are rapidly cooled to room temperature. This step halts the cooking process and helps maintain the quality of the corn. Rapid cooling also prevents overcooking, ensuring that the corn retains its crispness. Throughout the canning process, rigorous quality control measures are in place. Inspections and tests are conducted to ensure that the corn meets specific standards for taste, color, texture, and safety. Metal detectors are employed to identify and remove any metal fragments that may have inadvertently entered the cans during processing. This step is crucial to prevent contamination and ensure consumer safety. Each can is weighed to confirm the correct amount of corn in brine or syrup. Labels are affixed, providing consumers with essential information such as nutritional content, expiration date, and cooking instructions. In this facility, they produce a whopping 42 million cans of corn, enabling you to enjoy the amazing flavor of sweet corn all throughout the year. If you enjoyed this video, we have plenty more like it on our channel. In America alone, it's estimated that around 200 million people consume boxed cereals. But how is cereal manufactured? The most important raw material in any breakfast cereal is grain. The grains most commonly used are corn, wheat, oats, rice, and barley. Some hot cereals, such as plain oatmeal, and a few cold cereals, such as plain shredded wheat, contain no other ingredients. Most breakfast cereals contain other ingredients such as salt, yeast, sweeteners, flavoring agents, coloring agents, vitamins, minerals, and preservatives. The first step is the cultivation of these grains on farms. Farmers plant the seeds in suitable soil, and the crops are carefully tended until they mature. Once the grains have ripened, they are harvested. Harvesting methods vary depending on the type of grain, but typically involve combine harvesters which can perform several functions in one pass. The first step in the harvesting process is cutting the mature crop. The cutting mechanism varies depending on the type of harvester used. Combines often have a cutting header equipped with a rotating blade or sickle bar that cuts the stalks near the ground. Once the crop is cut, the next step is threshing, which involves separating the grains from the rest of the plant. Threshing mechanisms within the harvester remove the grain kernels from the straw or husks. This can be achieved through the use of rotating cylinders, concaves, and beaters. After threshing, the separated grains are cleaned to remove any remaining chaff, straw, or other debris. This is typically done using sieves, fans, and other separation mechanisms within the harvester. Once the grains arrive at the factory, they are cleaned once again through processes like sieving and winnowing to remove any impurities. After cleaning, the grains undergo drying to reduce moisture content, ensuring they can be stored without the risk of spoilage. Here's where the cereal making begins. The whole grains are weighed in a specific amount and go into an industrial version of a pressure cooker. The operator locks the lid and the whole grains are mixed with flavoring agents, salt, and water through a system that directly feeds them into the pressure cooker. During this process, vitamins and minerals are also added to the mixture in a process known as fortification. The time, temperature, and speed of rotation vary with the type of grain being cooked. Usually whole wheat grains only need an hour of cooking. Once the cooking is complete, the machine is turned off and its vents are opened, allowing the grains to cool down. Once cooled, the grains are emptied onto a conveyor and resume their journey. Some of the grains become lumped during the cooking process and are de-lumped to break the lumps into single units. The cooked grains are allowed to dry under controlled temperatures, stabilizing the moisture content of each grain. Remember, these grains absorbed a lot of moisture during the cooking. Typically, after cooking, the grains have a moisture percentage of 30% and it is brought down to 19% after drying. This process is known as tempering. The tempered grains are flattened between large metal rollers under tons of pressure. The resulting flakes are conveyed to ovens where they are tossed in a blast of very hot air to remove remaining moisture and to toast them to a desirable color and flavor. To make puffed cereals, rice or wheat is used. The rice grains require no pre-treatment, but the wheat grains must be treated to partially remove the outer layer of bran. This may be done by abrading it off between grindstones, a process known as pearling. It may also be done by soaking the wheat grains in salt water. The salt water toughens the bran, which allows it to break off in large pieces during puffing. The grain is placed in the gun, a small vessel that can hold very hot steam and very high pressure. The gun is opened quickly to reduce the pressure suddenly. The sudden release of pressure results in the rapid expansion of the water vapor inside the grains. This causes the grains to puff up, creating the characteristic light and airy texture of puffed cereals. After the explosive expansion, the puffed grains are allowed to cool. This step is crucial for solidifying the structure of the puffed cereal and ensuring that it retains its expanded shape. Shredded cereals can also be made using the same process as flake cereals. The wheat is cooked in boiling water to allow moisture to fully penetrate the grain. The cooked grain is cooled and allowed to temper. It is then rolled between two metal rollers. One roller is smooth and the other one is grooved. The metal comb is positioned against the grooved roll with a tooth inside each groove. The cooked grain is shredded by the teeth of the comb and dropped off the rollers in a continuous ribbon. A conveyor belt catches the ribbons from several pairs of rollers and piles them up in layers. The layers of shredded wheat are cut to the proper size and then baked to the desired color and dryness. Granolas and similar products are made by mixing grain, usually oats, and other ingredients like nuts, fruits, flavors, etc., and cooking them on a conveyor belt that moves through an oven. The cooked mixture is then crumbled to the desired size. Several other varieties of cereals use flour instead of grains. To start the process, the flour is first cooked inside a cooking extruder. This device consists of a long screw within a heated housing. The motion of the screw mixes the flour with water, flavoring, salt, sweeteners, vitamins, minerals, and sometimes food coloring. The screw moves this mixture through the extruder, cooking it as it moves along. At the end of the extruder, the cooked dough emerges as a ribbon. A rotating knife cuts the ribbon into pellets. These pellets are then processed in a variety of shapes to make different cereals. After the cereals have been puffed, shredded, or flaked, and then roasted to give them the crispy consistency, they are coated with sweeteners and flavors such as fruit juices, food colors, or preservatives to give them an additional bit of kick, color, and shelf life. Cereals may also be frosted. Frosting is applied by spraying a thick hot syrup of sugar on the cereal in a rotating drum. As it cools, the syrup dries into a white layer of frosting. Finally, it's time for packaging. An automated machine packages the cereal at a rate of about 40 boxes per minute. The box is assembled from a flat sheet of cardboard which has been previously printed with a desired pattern for the outside of the box. The bottom and sides of the box are sealed with a strong glue. The bag is formed from moisture-proof plastic and inserted into the box. The cereal fills the bag and the bag is tightly sealed by heat. The top of the box is sealed with a weak glue which allows the consumer to open it easily. The completed boxes of cereal are packed into cartons which usually hold 12, 24, or 36 boxes and shipped to the retailer. Throughout the entire manufacturing process, rigorous quality control measures are in place to ensure that the cereal meets safety and quality standards. This includes testing for factors like texture, taste, nutritional content, and shelf life. Once packaged, the cereals are distributed to retailers and markets. Marketing strategies play a crucial role in promoting cereals, often highlighting nutritional benefits, taste, and convenience to attract customers. So the next time you're chewing your Cheerios, feasting on your Frosties, or savoring your Sugar Puffs, you can truly appreciate the products because you know just about everything they go through to arrive at your breakfast table.